Coming up on this week's Hong Kong Racing Show, Hong Kong's 8-time champion jockey Zac Purton joins us for a full recap of IR Day and his incredible wins aboard Triple Crown hero Voyage Bubble and sprinting superstar Ka Ying Rising.
He's in rare air now.
Also, what some North Americans thought about their first Hong Kong racing experience, plus all the picks and analysis for this weekend's card at Sha Tin. The Hong Kong Racing Show starts now. Welcome along to the Hong Kong Racing Show. Andrew Brown and Alex Evers with you. Alex, we're both back in the States after an incredible week in Honkers. We're going to recap IR Day shortly with our special guest, Zac Purton, who rode 2 of the 4 winners in the Group 1 races. But give us a couple of your highlights from the past week.
How you doing, Ringo? It's good to see you back in the States. We had a great week. It was a lot of fun. Oh man, so many highlights to get to. I don't think I could just pick one, but I mean, between the fans chanting Sosie at Purton, to IJC and Ryan Moore coming back and putting on an absolutely unbelievable display, Ka Ying Rising, Voyage Bubble, Romantic Warrior. I mean, it was just an absolutely incredible week, and it flies by. And I was sad to get home. I wish I could have stayed another couple weeks over there, but I'll be back soon enough for the Stewards Cup. But it was just an absolutely phenomenal week.
Yeah, it really was. And as much as I loved watching Ka Ying Rising and Romantic Warrior at the track on Sunday with those historic performances, it was equally awesome getting up close and personal with them in the mornings during morning works, and seeing Ka Ying Rising move over that Sha Tin dirt was unbelievably kind of just like glides over it like a hovercraft or something. It's pretty amazing.
I told you, Brownie. I wasn't making stuff up when I said this horse goes as well over the dirt as he does over the turf. Like I've seen thousands of workouts through the lens, and he's like one of the best moving horses I've ever seen. It. I'm glad you got out there to see that because it was so special to witness. And then obviously he's on race day. He's just a different type of horse.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the fans, absolutely amazing.
Brian, we got a bunch of stuff. TKH Studio, hooked me up with my Golden 60 Labubu. I love collecting all the Hong Kong art. This thing is unbelievable. And then we got fans giving out saddle cloths to me. We got flags. I mean, we got everything. And the fans there are, if Ka Ying Rising is a different breed, the fans at Hong Kong are a different breed. And the club brings over the IJC and the foreign jockeys, and they bring over horses from all around the world to compete with Hong Kong's best. And the fans seem to just love every bit of it. Again, Japan has some fandom, and it's great, but it's kind of inclusive to just their horses and their area. Hong Kong, it scales to everybody, and it's incredible. And they've been so welcoming and kind to me. And I kind of like get them riled up when I walk down that victory lane area every time you hear Evers, and high-fiving people. I'm not going to say that I don't love it because I do, but it's special. And honestly, the fans make. It was one of the reasons why HKIR is so great. And you can hear them cheering for J-Mac and cheering for Zach and cheering for Sosie. And it was absolutely incredible. And I love it. And it, kind of gives me chills just talking about.
Well, speaking of Zach, our interview with him very shortly. But firstly, Alex, some huge news that has just broken in the last few hours about Romantic Warrior and his plans to go to the Middle East are now off for 2026.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising, but not surprising in that the owner is really competitive and wants to have the best horse in Hong Kong. And there was kind of a beef with him and Golden 60 about who was better at the time. And now with Voyage Bubble winning the Triple Crown, it kind of leaves a question as to could Romantic Warrior have done it? So, I mean, this is pure speculation. I don't know. This is coming off fresh news within 45 minutes, kind of my initial responses. But I would imagine that's got to play into it. And the horse is getting up there in age, coming back off an injury. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to stay at home. And now the Hong Kong fans get a wonderful treat where you got the 2 best middle distance smilers to, I guess, long distance, you would say, even at 2,400 meters, horses going to face off. And it looks like Zach probably will now keep the ride on Voyage Bubble. Because J-Mac will obviously stay with Romantic Warrior, but it should be great. And again, we have not seen Romantic Warrior test the 1,600 meter distance since his run with Golden 60 in the Stewards Cup 2 seasons ago. So that being said, it's going to be incredible. And Voyage Bubble's already proved himself over 2,400. Romantic Warrior hasn't. So, who knows? But it's going to be very interesting. What do you think, Brownie?
Yeah, I think it sets things up for an incredible season on the home front in Hong Kong for 2026 now, doesn't it? Although a little disappointed we won't get to see that Forever Young clash again with Romantic Warrior in the Saudi Cup, but just really makes things exciting on the home front. And of course, there's that Triple Crown bonus as well that I'm sure the owners of Romantic Warrior had in mind when they made that decision. And as you pointed out, coming off that hard campaign there last year and that long injury layoff as well, maybe it's just, let's keep him at home, take care of him this year. Perhaps they can take a look at it for 2027. You never know. But I should point out that we did catch up with Zac Purton before this news about Romantic Warrior broke, but we did get a chance to talk with him about all things IR Day last Sunday at Sha Tin. Before Zac joins us, though, I actually caught up with Ka Ying Rising's trainer David Hayes directly after Ka Ying Rising's win in his second successive Hong Kong sprint. And here's David. David, congratulations. Where do you rank that performance in his career?
Oh, I'm right up there. It was dominant. It was really good visually. And Zac had concerns about the track. You see he went about 5 horses off the fence. And but the horse just handles everything that's put in front of him. He's an incredible horse.
At what point of the race did you get to enjoy it?
Probably when it was time to kick, and he put 3 on them very quickly. So he got probably to the 200, then I was feeling very relaxed.
What makes him so good?
Absorbs pressure. And so when the pressure comes into the race, it doesn't worry him. And it really upsets his opposition. And he can lengthen like he's got a massive stride.
He's beaten a pretty incredible field there of international horses.
Yeah, like people are saying he's beating nothing, but they're the best. That's the best sprint form in the world.
Yeah.
And it was 30-1. The second place getter was 30-1. So the market doesn't really lie.
What's your drink now when you go to the bar to celebrate?
I'll have a nice red, for sure.
Well, congratulations again. We can't just wait to see what's next. And this guy's he's really flying the flag for not just Hong Kong racing, but racing around the globe.
I think he's on the world stage now, well and truly.
Yeah. Better than Black Caviar?
I think at the 18-run mark comparable, but definitely couldn't rate him as Black Caviar yet. But I think at the same stage, he's very similar.
Always great to hear from trainer David Hayes, and always great to be joined by Zac Purton after what was a massive weekend for him at Sha Tin. Are you still buzzing, Zac?
Yeah, of course. It's a great meeting. I really enjoy that whole week, having everyone in town, obviously with the IJC all the way through to the breakfast, the gala, and then into the race meeting. And once again, it was a good day for me, so very happy.
Some incredible scenes there on Sunday, and whether you were lucky enough to, I guess, be there in person like we were or watching on TV, I think everybody would have thought they were witnessing something pretty special when you returned aboard Ka Ying Rising after that mind-blowing performance. When you are coming back to the fans in circumstances such as that, what kind of emotions are you experiencing?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously there's the satisfaction that the job's been done, the relief. You look to the owners to see how much they're enjoying it, and then you look to the crowd to see how buzzed up they are. And this horse has got a great following, and they love him, and they gave him a good reception when he come back. But for me, it's just I feel like you're deflating a balloon, and it's just like you can sort of enjoy it more now.
Yeah.
The fans certainly got a kick out of the big sissy comments, and you were just chanting at you. It was unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that at the track. For future, if you have to ever get into any other business after, jockey PR, because you've turned something that could be a negative into the most positive, fun thing I've seen in racing in a while.
And it's great to see the young guys here really embrace that, to go on the internet and search for that saddlecloth and then buy it and then bring it here. And they had it there for Ka Ying Rising's most recent run, which was the first time I'd seen it. And I thought it was hilarious. So at Happy Valley on the Wednesday night at the IJC, I told them to bring it along and I signed it for them, and they were back there on Sunday. So it's a bit of a laugh and it's all in good fun.
We're still waiting for the T-shirt. You making one?
The hat, there's a hat coming out. We've got a hat coming out.
Oh, that's unreal.
I'll save you a couple.
We'll buy a few online and give them away. here on this show or on the North American Hong Kong channels. So we just listened to that interview with David Hayes, Zach, and I don't think he's quite ready to say that Ka Ying Rising is better than Black Caviar in that interview, but it feels like he's pretty close. David says Black Caviar is the best he's ever seen, but I guess where does Ka Ying Rising rank now in all the champions that you've ridden?
Oh, he would have to be at the top now. To be as dominant as he is now, it's really scary. Like, to think that he went down to Australia, a very good horse, and he's come back even better. Like, it's just blowing my mind how much he's improving, week to week, in the last sort of 2 or 3 months, to watch him grow and develop, to feel his rhythm and stride, and to feel the confidence in him, and the performances that he's putting up. He's in rare air now. He's just gone to that level that separates himself from the really good horses to the elite horses, and he's certainly elite. And I wanted him to put up one of those performances in a big Group 1 on an international day where everyone was there to see it themselves. It's one thing when you watch it on TV and you go, wow, geez, that was good. But when you actually get to see it yourself, that's something you remember, and I think people are going to remember that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's currently rated 138. Is that the highest rating of a Hong Kong horse in that system of all time, or that you can remember of?
I'd have to go back through and research it. I think it might be. I'm not sure, or I can't
'Cause I went-
remember any horse being higher than that.
I went and looked, and Silent Witness got 133, Golden 60 133, and Romantic Warriors at 135. Now I couldn't find anybody else that was close to the mark.
Okay, well, job done. You've done it for me.
Try to be prepared, Try to bring a level of professionalism in the attire and the data.
Yeah, I don't know what they gave Sacred Kingdom and Silent Witness back in the day. Able Friend as well. I don't know what Designs on Rome and those horses sort of went to, but there are other ones we could possibly look at. But yeah, he probably stands alone.
In the lead up to the race, Zach, you and David were obviously expecting something big, based on, I guess, the way he was training. And you talked a lot about his physical maturity and how much weight he's put on and all that. What about his sort of mental maturity or conditioning as well? And is that sort of having some impact as well on his performances on the track?
Yeah, it is 100%. And it's all coming together at the same time really, really nicely. The way he parades now, he's a different horse than what he was 12 months ago. He doesn't jig jog as much as he used to, and he's learnt to walk at the pace of the other horses. He's a very fast walker, and he used to want to get along with things a bit too much in the parade ring, but he's learnt now to walk at a slower pace, and he goes out on the track beautifully with the pony. And behind the gates, he just walks around with his head down, half asleep, taking it all in. He's really good, and then he's got that same attitude in the gate now. The problem before, and in the international sprint last year when he was half a stride slow, was because he used to get in there and he'd bounce from foot to foot, and he'd be nervous and he'd be worried about what was going to happen. Now he just stands there, he's chilled, so he gets away a lot cleaner. And obviously everyone was talking about Barrier 1 and how it could be a negative, and yeah, sure, it could have been if he didn't begin as well as he did. But I had the confidence in the horse that he was going to do it. The feel he's been giving me recently, how he's matured, I just believed he was going to stand in the gates and jump, which he did, and Barrier 1 made it a lot easier for us from then on. But yeah, all round, physically, mentally, he just continues to improve all the time.
But it was really impressive too how you used Barrier 1, and the track seemed to be, like as you mentioned, was kind of dead on the fence there. And you were able to use that Barrier 1, not get stuck on the fence, drift out to the good part of the track, and still run a pretty respectable time, 107.7 or something, which is ridiculous for how off that track was that day.
Yeah, all the times all day were a second and a half outside of standard. So for him to go within a flick of his track record on that track, it's probably his career best performance. And because he's got that gate speed, he was able to get out and get himself into the right spot and control the race to a certain degree. And then it was just a matter of getting away from the quicksand on the inside.
Yeah. So we know it's well documented he's going to follow a similar path to last year, the Everest, of course, in in October, another big target to go back to back there at Royal Randwick. Hypothetically, though, Zac, if prize money didn't matter, and you could choose any races in the world to go and win aboard him, would you have any races up the top of your list in terms of, would it be Royal Ascot or the Breeders' Cup or something like that?
Yeah, they're both great races. You know, I'd love to compete and try and win those races. I've never been to America to ride, so that's something that eats away at me a little bit. I'd love to ride in a Kentucky Derby and that as well. That'd be great. And Royal Ascot, like I've been there before. I've won there. I know what it's like. It's such a good meeting.
Yeah.
The whole world watches. It'd be great to showcase him up there in that part of the world. You've probably picked the two races that, if you could choose any, you would choose those two.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, when you think of IJC the other night, Alex, how many riders off the top of your head have ridden in a Kentucky Derby in that IJC field? There's been a few. There was Umberto, Christophe, Lemaire, Ryan
Ryan.
Moore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I think out of that bunch, just the three.
We need a Z or a Z, I should say, for America. Zac Purton.
We got to get him on a Baffert horse. Baffert loves guys that can get horses out of the gate. That's like the number one priority for Baffert is gate riders. Because in the dirt races in America, if you don't get out clean, you're in trouble, especially in the Kentucky Derby. It's like so many horses have lost that race at the start.
And it seems to be in a slop nearly every year too, so I don't want to get mud in my face.
It's gotten worse too with the weather changes. I don't ever remember it being as wet as it was when I was a kid. Now it's like every year it's pouring rain.
Adds to the theatre. It's awesome. Joe Moreira is another one. Joe Moreira's ridden in it.
Yeah.
Last year. Luxor Cafe, wasn't it?
Yeah, but those races, like, do you want to just be involved in it, or you want to be on a chance that can win? Like, I can imagine it'd be kind of tough to go in there with knowing you don't have much of a shot.
Yeah, you know me. You've hit the nail on the head. I generally don't want to ride in a race unless I think I can win it, which is why I didn't have a ride in the Cup and the Vase. I just thought the horses here in Hong Kong, apart from Romantic Warrior, I thought, you know, he had a mortgage in it, but the other Hong Kong horses in the Cup weren't going to be able to measure up, and it was the same in the Vase, so I was happy to sit in the jockey's room. So you are right. I prefer to only ride a horse in a race if I think he can win, but for the experience to say I've ridden in a race like that, I'd probably ride something a little bit further down the list.
Fair enough. Speaking of Romantic Warrior, can you put that performance into perspective for us? Zac, 4 straight Hong Kong Cups, the first horse to ever do it?
Yeah, never been done before. He's a machine. He is a warrior. Like, he's well named, isn't he? He's been to Australia, to Japan, to Dubai, to Saudi. He's been on grass. He's been on dirt. He's been left-handed. He's been right-handed. He's dominated here for 4 years. Won the Derby. He's gone on with it. You know, he's had surgery. He's come back from it. What an incredible horse. It's been amazing to sit here and watch his career develop as he's gone on. He's just seems to have got better and better and better, and age hasn't caught up with him yet.
How hard is it for those horses to go from right-handed turns to switch to going left-handed in a race?
Yeah, it's not easy. A lot of horses can't do it. Voyage Bubble, for example, he went to Dubai and tailed off, and then he went to Japan to try again, left-handed, and tailed off again. He'd come back to Hong Kong and he won a Triple Crown. So each horse is different. The horses here in Hong Kong do go left-handed at track work twice a week on the inside slow mornings on a Monday and a Thursday. So they do get a little bit of a feel for it. But it's one thing cantering around. It's another thing going at full speed. Aero Velocity was one that was able to handle it. He went to Japan, went left-handed. He won there nicely, and then he went to Singapore left-handed, won nicely. So a lot of horses can adapt, but some horses can't.
Yeah, we should talk some Voyage Bubble. You just mentioned him, Hong Kong's Triple Crown hero, defending his crown in the Hong Kong Mile, this time with you aboard. Can you take us through that last furlong or so, Zac? Because it looked like for a while there that Soul Rush had you covered.
Yeah, when Soul Rush went past me at sort of the 350, 300 metre mark, I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. I thought, we're done here. But when he couldn't get away from me, he got like a head in front of me, and then that was it. His horse started to labour a little bit, and Bubble was just staying with him, and then all of a sudden, at about the 150, he started to pick up underneath me, and then away he went. And if anything, he was going away from the field on the line. He got into his rhythm, and that was always going to be the problem. 2,000 metres back to a mile was always going to be the problem. But luckily, he was rolling during the race. He was in a good rhythm. Demuro went for home a little bit early, and then that allowed my guy to go through his stride, start to pick up, and then obviously finish strong.
Does he get the credit that he deserves, do you think, Voyage Bubble? Because there's a lot of chat after IR on Sunday. Everyone's talking Romantic Warrior and Ka Ying Rising, grabbing all the headlines. But he's a superstar in his own right, isn't he, Voyage Bubble?
He is. You're 100% right. I think to a certain degree, yes, he does get his credit. Like, people here do really like him and do enjoy him and do support him. The ownership group, it's a big group. It's a big syndicate. And there are a lot of really good people in there. So they're well liked amongst the community. And I think that helps when you've got an owner that's well liked. They tend to appreciate and support the horse a little bit more as well. And there's certainly a lot of support for him. And people do give him credit for what he has been able to achieve. But you also are right. He is living in the shadow of two absolute superstars here at the moment that just keep sort of stealing the spotlight away from him a little bit.
I imagine there's a scenario now where he's going to potentially defend his Triple Crown and maybe go back-to-back Triple Crowns. And question begs then, Zach, do you ride Voyage Bubble in 2026?
I haven't spoken to them yet. I believe I will be, but I haven't spoken to them yet, so I actually don't know. I haven't confirmed it. I'd like to think I get to keep the ride.
Yeah.
And James has probably got Galaxy Patch to keep riding in the mile races anyway. So yeah, well, I better make that phone call before James does.
For sure. We know you got to head off to the trials. Alex and I are going to be having a look at the Sha Tin card shortly and trying to find a couple of winners. And it looks like you're on a couple of pretty good chances towards the end of the card as well. What can you tell us about Patch of Stars, who's chasing a hat trick and continues to sort of step up, and Invincible Ibis, who's emerging as a leading 4-year-old in the season?
Yeah, Patch of Stars has done a really good job. He's very honest. He turns up, he tries his best, gives his best. I haven't looked at the gates. From memory, did he draw a bit awkward?
I want to say maybe barrier 10.
Yeah, well, that's probably a little bit worse than awkward, but so he's going to need a little bit of luck. But he's trained on really well. He's going good. Hopefully, I can get the right run on him. But he had the run of the race last time and just fell in, so now he's a little bit higher in the ratings. Drawn a little bit more awkwardly. It's not going to be easy for him, but he'll run well. He's in good form.
Sweet. And Invincible Ibis?
Yeah, well, he's a late maturing type of horse. He lacks confidence. He doesn't like to be in amongst them. He prefers to sort of be back and wide, where he's got a little bit of room. If you try and bustle him a little bit, he gets out of his rhythm and he doesn't like it. So I just allow him to find his feet, get into his rhythm. His last 2 wins have been very, very good. And because he's sort of the horse that's going to continue to improve physically and mentally, he can just keep taking that next step. And he gets, after this, he'll get his opportunity, I think, to start to measure up against the other 4-year-olds. And he's well placed. So he's an interesting one. Like, he's one that could just jump out of the ground at some stage and take a big step, and especially as he goes up in trip as well.
So with that being said, is barrier 3 for him kind of tricky, where that he's going to have to kind of battle that being in the company of other horses?
Yeah, it's not ideal for him if they get around him. He was lucky. He drew well last time. I think he might have drawn 2. But the speed was on and he had plenty of room and he was just able to get into a nice rhythm and come to the outside. He'll need a similar scenario. If something gets outside him, he might curl up underneath me and he's not going to enjoy that. So we need to try and give him room.
Right. Did he add the winkers last start too? Was that right?
Possibly. I can't remember if it was last start or the start before.
Right.
But yeah, that's just to try and help him a little bit. But it's an interesting year this year with the 4-year-olds. Nothing's really put its hand up as a standout.
Yeah, that's right. All right, mate. Alex, anything else for the great man before he heads off to the trials?
No, I think we've taken up enough of his time the last 2 weeks. He's going to be a permanent co-host. He's going to punt me off this thing.
But yeah, your other co-host, Umby, will be a little bit down when he hears that. I've taken his spot.
We should have both of you boys on at some point. That would be fun.
Oh, God, that'd
I wouldn't
be
get
fun.
a chance to talk.
It was good to have him around for the week, was it?
Yeah, it was. He's got plenty of energy and he was at track work. He was at the races again on Wednesday night.
Right.
So yeah, you can't get rid of him. Once he's here, you can't get rid of him. He's hard to send home.
I don't blame him. It was such a good week there. I think I had such a great time, a lot of my colleagues as well, and there were a few Americans who we're going to listen to on this show very shortly. Zac experienced Hong Kong racing for their first time, and they were just so complimentary about the whole experience, the racing on the track, the facilities and all that kind of stuff. Like, they've just come home and they're now the mouthpieces for Hong Kong racing, going around telling all their friends. So yeah, it was just a phenomenal week, really.
Yeah, well, that is good, and that's what we want. Obviously, the club have the funds and they do it well, but they do it properly. They know how to run a good show, and everyone that comes always comments. The comments are very similar. They very impressed with the layout of the race courses. They're very impressed with how everything's handled. It's so efficient, and they always have a good time. So it's good to hear that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, thanks again for your time. We'll be following everything Ka Ying Rising over 2026, and looking forward to the racing this weekend at Sha Tin with the 4-year-old series heating up as well.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Zac.
Cheers.
Always terrific to talk to Zac, and we appreciate his time as always and all his incredible insights. I mentioned a few of the Americans experiencing Hong Kong racing for the first time in our chat with Zac, and I speak of course of Gary Fenton from Little Red Feather Racing, and also the chairman of the TOC, and also Bill Strauss of Pamplemousse fame, the restaurant in Solana Beach, just opposite the track. He's also, of course, a prolific owner and on the board of the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. I caught up with both of them at Sha Tin on Sunday, along with former Hong Kong executive and current TOC president Bill Nader.
It's been out of this world. The experience of the Hong Kong Jockey Club and what they do is second to none. We've never seen anything like it in the United States. I've never seen anything like it in Europe. It's pretty spectacular.
What do you think of Happy Valley on Wednesday night?
It's electric. I mean, it's a party. It's incredible. We had gone in that morning and we were a little bit tired. And as we're leaving right before the last race, it looked like everybody was just starting their night. It was incredible.
And the fact that you get to witness some of the world's best racehorses here on HKIR Day, as a racing fan, what does that mean?
I mean, to see a horse like Romantic Warrior today, horse racing is about stars. It's been built on 150 years, legacies of stars, and so to be here on a moment, to be here today for a moment like this is pretty special.
I don't think I'm smart enough to have the words to describe what I've experienced and how important horse racing is to the culture, to the economics of Hong Kong itself. It's a sport that's revered here by the people. It's incredibly highly respected. It's well run, it's well organized. The people who are responsible for it, they're smart, they're strategic, a lot of integrity and transparency. It's been a pure delight to be here for the week and experience what I've delivered, what I've experienced, I should say, and I will be back.
I think they've had a great time, and it's been fun doing it, because when you're familiar with Hong Kong, as I am, to share that experience with others is really a joy. So it's been great to see them kind of take it all in. It all happens so quickly. You're here for only a short period of time, but there's so much to see. It's a bit overwhelming, but they're having a great time.
All right, Alex. So we just heard from some Americans experiencing Hong Kong racing for the first time. And I feel like this needs to be said. If you're an American trainer or owner with a Group 1 turf horse, HKIR shouldn't intimidate you. It should motivate you. If you've got one good enough, this is where you can test yourself and represent America on the world stage overseas after the Breeders' Cup. So the Hong Kong Jockey Club will take care of your horses, the logistics. I even think they take care of a couple of flights for you and whoever else you want to take along with you. So there really is no excuses. If you think your horse belongs with the best, prove it, plan now, aim high, fly the American flag in Hong Kong. We want to see you there next December. So I'm talking to you, Chad Brown, Phil D'Amato, Graham Motion, George Papapadromo. We want to see you in Hong Kong next year.
Brownie, you want to know, this is maybe off the top of my head and I could be wrong, but one of the last American owners to win the Hong Kong Mile, ready? Wayne Gretzky in the 90s.
No way.
Japan Cup with Golden Pheasant, and he won the Hong Kong Mile. I can't remember the horse's name, with a partnership with Bruce McNall, who owned the LA Kings at the time. So a little bit of HKR trivia, but it's been a hot minute since an American horse has gone over there and done well and run well. I think Mongolian, the horse that won the sprint, Mongolian, God, I can't remember the horse's name, with Florent Geroux. He got all sorts of trouble He ran in the sprint
Right.
after he won the Breeders' Cup. I think that's the last one to try it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, we had No Balls, of course, make his way to Hong Kong last year. Larry of Rally trained No Balls, who won the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint in 2023. I'm going to say took last year off. Unfortunately, if I remember correctly, spiked a fever. But I mean, at least Larry was keen to go and have a crack and take on Ka Ying Rising.
now the other side of it is with these standout horses, like over the last few years, we had Golden 60, Romantic Warrior, Beauty Generation, Ka Ying Rising, Voyage Bubble. Like, it's a pretty daunting task when to get on a plane and fly around the other side of the world to run against these monster horses. But that's not to say that there won't be opportunities in the future. And I look at Brownie. I know there's a Powerball thing out right now. I think what the Powerball is $1.3 billion.
Is it?
My goal, if there's one race that I want to win, it's not the Kentucky Derby. I want to win the Hong Kong Mile and get my name as an owner on the trophy next to Stanley Chan and Golden 60s. And that's my racing goal that I have. And you know what? A boy can dream. Let me dream. Let me think about it. But if I win the lotto, I'm buying something. I'm trying to win the Hong Kong Mile. That's my goal.
What you got to do is, like, say, take this year, for example. Let's say Johannes was going over there. You just buy into Johannes before he goes to the Hong Kong Mile. That might be your strategy with all the money.
I'm not a buy-in guy. They're going to be in my silks. They're going to be in my silks. It's going to be my call with my jockey. And look at, if I can't, I'm going to get Vincent Ho to ride. I'm going to get my guy to ride my horse. No, there's puppies trying to come to my office. Yeah, that's what I want to do, Brownie. And you know what? You got to set big goals in life. And that's one of mine.
You do. And look, if you've got $1.2 billion in your bank account, you can really do whatever you want to. All right. It is time to take a look at some of the fantastic racing at Sha Tin this weekend and find your winner. All right. And let's start with race 9, the Ivy Handicap, which is a class 2 over the 1200. That's about 6 furlongs. Taking a look at the field, J-Mac taking over from Zac Purton on bottom up together. Number 4, Invincible Shield. He's going to appreciate being back on the turf. 5, Ladies' Choice, steps back up to a more suitable trip. We just heard from Zac about Patch of Stars, who's looking for 3 on the trot. Number 9, Crimson Flash, steps up to 1200 and should be ready to fire third off the layoff. Speedmap has bottom up together leading. Alex, who do you like in race 9 at Sha Tin?
Look, I'm a super fan of this Invincible Shield horse, and I talked to Francis's son, and they said they were just keen to see how he'd go over the dirt. He trialed really well over it last time, and it would just kind of open up some opportunities. The sprint division is so tough and so contentious in Hong Kong, so they were looking for that. He ran 4th, not bad, but I do think coming back to this trip, and he's getting, I think he gave 8 pounds last time to Patch of Stars. He gives up 4 pounds this time, so beats him on a little bit better terms here. I do like him. He's run well over the C course before. So I've got Invincible Shield over Patch of Stars this time. I'm going to pair those up in an exacta. And I like bottom up together. He's kind of got some trouble getting out of the barriers, and that's going to cost him in the dirt run there. But I like him to hold on for third. What about you, Brownie?
I'm with you. Invincible Shield. And I'm hoping he might be a little bit of value here. As you mentioned, just beaten by Patch of Stars 2 back before running on the all-weather last out. You're going to be much more suited being back on turf. 4th run in the sequence. Vincent knows the horse well. Should be midfield or so in transit, I would say, and with a bit of pace on, can be running home late. I think he's going to reel in bottom up together, who should be in front for a long way down the stretch. So I've got him in for second. So, yeah, I'm with you in this particular race. Invincible Shield to beat bottom up together.
All right, now I got to get off. I got too much weight on this horse.
All right, a quick look at race 11 before we wrap things up for another episode. It's the Poinsettia Handicap over the mile, with some of these building towards the 4-year-old series, including Invincible Ibis for Zac Purton, who we talked about earlier. Others of note include Brilliant Express, who was unlucky last out, Dazzling Fit, who showed good late speed last out, and Fortune Boy, who's already proven over the mile. Speed map showing Tourbillon Prince taking up the running. Any thoughts here, Alex?
Yeah, it was very interesting to hear Zac talk about Invincible Ibis and how he's kind of doesn't really like to be in the pack of horses, and he's kind of got to get over that. So if he's going to be a classic series type of horse, he's going to have to battle those type of conditions in a race. But I'm probably going to go with Dazzling Fit here. He's kind of my horse for the classic series at this point. He ran huge last out, gorgeous horse, son of Ribchester. The distance should suit him. and he should be suited to go beyond 1600. But I've got him over Invincible Ibis in this one. But it's going to be good to keep an eye out on these Classic Series horses as we're almost a little over a month away from the kickoff of the series. And the series has been so great. It's produced so many wonderful horses. Just off the top of our head, Voyage Bubble, Romantic Warrior, Golden 60, Beauty Generation. So
there you go.
Always something good comes out of the series, and these are the ones to keep an eye on leading into that.
Yep, for sure. I like the same two horses as you. I'm just going to put Invincible Ibis on top. I think Zach can get the best out of him. So Invincible Ibis to beat Dazzling Fit for me. So we'll have to box those two up in an exacta. I think that's pretty much all we've got time for on another jam-packed edition of the Hong Kong Racing Show. Anything else you want to add?
I like Sunny to Best a little bit going in the card, later in the card, and I like Master of All. He's up in weight, 2 seconds in the last starts, and his winning weight is 2 pounds off of 1079. So he looks like he's going to be fit to run a big one as well. And Sky Joy in that race is another one for Ricky Yu, who's pointing towards the Classic Series in race 10. So the end of the card, something to look out for the future of that series, and see how these horses go, and we'll follow along to see where they jump in the ratings after the races.
Listen to this man, would you, everybody? He's just got off a plane from a big week in Hong Kong on Monday. I know for a fact that he was up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, punting on Happy Valley. And here we are recording this on Thursday afternoon. The fields for Sunday have only been out for a few hours. He's already done the form for Sunday. That's what we call, ladies and gentlemen, a Hong Kong racing junkie.
Purebred degenerate, Brownie. And I'll be up until all hours of the night on Saturday. We got our hockey team party going on, and we'll have the races on. The boys will be punting, and hopefully we give them some winners.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that's all we have time for on today's show. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next edition of the Hong Kong Racing Show.